All right, we're here at the venue. The fights just ended. Let's talk about it. That's why I'm leaving the venue right now. UFC 314 just ended. Oh, man, close. My takeaways, quick takeaways. So, main event, pretty much went as I expected. I thought Volkanovski was the more skilled fighter, the better fighter. Technically, I didn't think there was any way Diego Lopez could win a decision, and it went to decision. Volk got it. Diego Lopez fought hard. He had moments. Where he hurt Volk. He had moments where he dropped Volk. And I thought that a finish was really the only way he could get it done. I think this is really the only weak side of Volk's game, is that when a guy gets frustrated because Volk is styling on them so much, their one trump card, no pun intended as he was here today, is they could just say fuck it and just start walking them down and just start throwing haymakers. And Volk really doesn't have the firepower to keep people off of him. As we saw today, when Lopez really decided to walk him down and really decided to throw bombs, Volk was really not able to keep him off of him. I'm sorry if the background is really bad, but co-main event, Paddy the Baddy, most impressive performance I've seen in his whole career. I'll honestly say this: Paddy beat Chandler easier than Gaethje, easier than Poirier, and easier than Oliveira. There were no moments in this fight where I felt like Paddy was in trouble, or Paddy was, losing the fight, or it was slipping away. There was no moment. Like I was saying, there was never a moment where the fight was turning. Chandler seemed to be having moments. Chandler seemed to be, putting Paddy in trouble. There was never that moment. And no one's ever really done that to Chandler. So I think this is probably shooting him to the very, very, very high points of the lightweight division. This is one of the first times where the old guard finally loses to one of the young guns, and we're finally seeing some turnover. We've seen Poirier turn away young guys. We've seen Gaethje turn away young guys. And it seemed like Chandler was the first one, the first crack in that, older generation. And it'll be interesting to see what Paddy does next. I would love to see Paddy versus any of those guys I just named, or also Paddy. If Ilya doesn't get the title shot, why not have Paddy welcome Ilya to 155? The former rivalry is already there. Easy matchmaking, in my opinion. We got is Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. This is one I was actually wrong about. I thought that Bryce Mitchell would put up a little bit more of a fight than he did. I thought that Silva was a little bit, untested in terms of the grappling, which he is, but he passed all tests today, and Bryce Mitchell wasn't the one that could expose him. If it is a chink in the armor in terms of grappling that can be exposed, Bryce wasn't good enough to do it. So if you do want to see him tested against another grappler and somebody that's, reached a little bit higher levels, but is also a grappler at 145, maybe Aljo? I wouldn't hate Aljo versus Silva. Gian, however you say it. I know they're switching up the pronunciation. Those Brazilian names are always tricky. Pereira, Pereira. I don't know. Our American asses, we can never pronounce shit. But, yeah, man. The first one that comes to mind right now that I think can really test his skill level would be Aljo in terms of grappling. But throw him in there with anybody. The way this dude fights and the way this dude sells a fight and the way this dude is so excited. Sells a fight without even speaking English. But anybody you book this guy against is going to be must-see TV, and I can't wait to watch more. And to cap off the main event, I'm going to talk about the rest of these fights later, but to cap off the main event, Dominic Reyes. This is maybe the most feel-good story in all of MMA. The comeback of Dominic Reyes. Slick left hand. The way that he slides back and throws that left hand is almost McGregor-esque. I know that name is shunned from the MMA community right now, but the way that he slipped back and threw that left hand off of that back foot definitely reminded me of that Aldo McGregor knockout. Dominic Reyes has one of the nastiest left hands in all of MMA, and if he's able to land that on anybody, he can be the best guy in the world. We saw that against John Jones. So yeah, I'm excited to see his future. Light heavyweight's a wide open division pretty much for the last 10 years. You win 1 or 2 fights and you're in a title shot. So I could see Dominic Reyes back at that title level very, very soon. You get the Pereira rematch with Ankalaev. After that, who else is there that Ankalaev hasn't matched up with that anybody's interested in? if Reyes can get one more win, it might be Reyes versus Ankalaev, might be nightmare of a matchup. But like I said, if that left hand lands up on Ankalaev, who's to say? Who's to say? You know, Ankalaev is everybody talks about him being the amazing grappler just because he has a beard and is from Dagestan and hangs with Khabib at times. But that dude will stand with you. He will stand with you. He will strike. We saw that with Pereira. Pereira wasn't able to get it off, but Dominic is a very different style. He's a southpaw. And I think he might actually be faster than Pereira. That left hand is dynamite, man. Pereira's just powerful. But, man, that Dominic Reyes that we saw against John Jones, he can beat anybody. He can beat anybody in this current division. So, excited for his future. Casual Caio Baralo. Casual Caio just walking past. Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. This is a very disappointing performance from Patricio. I've seen a lot better from Pitbull. I'm someone that does indulge on, some 1FC, some PFL, some Bellator. I've watched this come up. I've watched him knock out Chandler. I've watched him fight Sergio Pettis. This is not the best we've seen of him. He's obviously getting up there in age, late in the 30s. So this was not the best version of him. A lot of people were questioning why UFC signed him so late. What was the purpose of signing him when he may be, quote unquote, washed to some people's, not washed, but to what he once was, definitely not close to that. And we saw that in the performance tonight. He was very tentative. He was looked a little bit nervous, a little bit, hesitant to engage. And Yair was able to pretty much get off whenever he wanted to. Wasn't the most exciting fight, wasn't the greatest fight, but if UFC's goal in this was to sign probably the greatest, most accomplished Bellator fighter in their organization's history and let one of your non-champion guys beat up on him, if that was the goal, you accomplished it. If you wanted to make Bellator look bad by beating one of those guys, you definitely accomplished that as well. So, yeah, I don't know what's next for him. Looked almost like he was going to retire at the end. But it's going to be a very interesting, it's interesting when they bring in a brand new guy out of another organization and throw him straight to a ranked guy. He fought against the 5th ranked guy, didn't really do much of anything, didn't look great. So will they just automatically still drop him in the rankings, or will he be unranked? I'm curious to see how that works out. So if Pitbull drops all the way from fighting the number 5 guy to just completely unranked, I don't even know if it's worth it to him to try to climb the ranks all the way from out of the rankings all the way up to try to be a champion in the UFC. I don't know if he thinks he even has time to do that. So it'll be interesting to see what he does next. I don't really know. Thank you, guys. It was a great night here in Miami. About to go enjoy the night. One more day here in Miami. Thank you for watching. Appreciate everybody that's watched the videos throughout the week. But yeah, thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Miami, I'm outside tonight. Let's go. Y'all caught me with no sunglasses this time. It's rare.